Okay, so, like, ever pull out a pack of gum and think, how they even make this stuff?
Mm.
Well, today's deep dive is all about a job that's way more involved than it sounds. The kettle tender.
And we've got RoleCatcher's career guides to give us the insider perspective, right?
Yeah, they're great at going beyond, like, just the basic job description.
What I find fascinating about RoleCatcher is they connect the dots to the whole industry.
Right, like what skills you actually need, how tech is changing things.
It's a much broader view.
Okay, so, kettle tender. First thought. Someone tending a giant bubbling kettle of, I don't know, molten sugar.
I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Right.
It's a little more high-tech than a cauldron, but you're on the right track.
Oh,
Kettle tenders operate these specialized machines that mix up all the ingredients for the gum base.
gum base. Now, that's a term I haven't thought about in a while.
Easy to overlook.
Yeah.
But it's the, like, non-sugar part that makes gum, well, chewy.
Mm.
Think about it. Gum has to be stretchy, hold its flavor, not go rock hard after 5 seconds. That's the gum base's job.
And the kettle tender is making sure that's perfect every time.
Exactly. Mixing it perfectly with the sweeteners, the flavors, the whole 9 yards.
So reading through this RoleCatcher guide, it's clear this isn't as simple as just dumping stuff in.
Not at all. They've got to have some technical skills, for sure.
Like what?
Well, one key piece of equipment is the extruder.
Okay.
You can picture it kind of kneading, pressing the gum base to get that chewiness just right. Kettle tenders need to know that extruder inside and out to make sure every batch is consistent.
Because no one wants gum that's like rack hard or dissolves instantly.
Exactly. Or too sticky or too brittle.
Right, right. So problem-solving skills must be huge in this job.
Oh, absolutely. RoleCatcher talks about that too. Let's say a batch comes out and it's just not right.
Hmm.
A good kettle tender doesn't just scrap it. They've got to figure out why.
Oh, interesting.
Like, analyze the data from the machine. Was the mixing speed off? Did the temperature fluctuate? It's like detective work, but for deliciousness.
I love that. Detectives of deliciousness. We should trademark that.
Right.
Okay, so we're talking attention to detail, technical skills, thinking on your feet. This isn't your typical factory gig, huh?
Not at all. And on top of that, there's a ton of documentation involved.
Really?
Food production is all about precision. Every ingredient, every little temperature change, even how long something mixes for.
Gotcha. Got to track it all.
Meticulously. It's not just about a tasty product. It's about safety, hygiene, all of that.
Right. RoleCatcher emphasizes how crucial that is in the food industry.
And it ties directly back to that meticulousness. A good kettle tender understands those records are crucial for consistency and making sure the final product is safe to eat.
It's making me realize that even though we're talking about this specific role, a lot of these skills, like being detail-oriented, problem-solving under pressure,
Right.
those are useful almost anywhere.
Absolutely. It's a great point. Even if someone's thinking, wow, food production's not for me, we're uncovering these transferable skills that matter in so many fields.
It's like a hidden lesson within the lesson.
Exactly. There are always those underlying skills and knowledge that can translate across entire industries.
So you've put in the time, learned the ropes, now you're moving up from like junior kettle tender.
Right.
What's next on this candy-coated career ladder?
Well, RoleCatcher points out that experience gets you more responsibility, right?
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
So think about it. Maybe you're overseeing multiple machines now, not just one.
Uh-huh.
Or you're the one training the new hires, making sure they know how to handle the extruder and all that.
Passing on the wisdom of the kettle tender.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher emphasizes how this progression, it's not just a gum factory thing.
Oh, right.
Lots of industries, you start hands-on, learn the basics, then you move into leadership, strategy.
You got to earn those stripes.
Exactly. Prove you can handle it.
And that's where those problem-solving skills really come into play, I bet.
Oh, big time. You're not just following steps anymore, you're seeing how it all connects.
The bigger picture, the whole shebang.
Right. And you know, RoleCatcher, they always bring in that tech angle too.
Of course. Can't forget about tech these days.
Exactly. So remember that extruder we talked about? They're only getting more advanced.
Oh, yeah, bet. More bells and whistles every year.
Computerized controls, tons of data being generated. It's pretty wild.
So a kettle tender can't just be good with their hands. They got to be tech savvy, too.
It's a perfect example of how tech might not replace jobs entirely, but it changes how you do them.
Adaptability. That's the name of the game these
Wow.
days. And speaking of adapting, one thing that really impressed me about RoleCatcher, they don't just describe jobs, they help you navigate your career, too.
Right. Have you checked out their Career Compass tool yet?
I have. That thing's amazing.
It's super helpful. You plug in your skills, what you're interested in, and it's like, boom.
Personalized career paths.
Exactly. It's like a GPS for your professional life.
I love that. Career GPS. Maybe that's our next trademark.
There you go. But seriously, it can be a game changer if you're feeling lost.
Or if you're thinking, okay, this kettle tender thing sounds kind of cool, but what about my skills?
Right. Maybe you're in a totally different field right now.
And RoleCatcher can help you connect those dots.
Exactly. Sometimes we don't even realize how transferable our skills are.
We underestimate ourselves.
Big time. But RoleCatcher helps you figure out, okay, here's how my experience, even in something completely different, could apply to this new thing.
It's like translating your skills into a whole new language, so to speak.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, but let's be real. Even if you've got the skills, the experience, job interviews are always a little scary.
Oh, tell me about it.
Does RoleCatcher, help with that part too?
This is where they really shine, honestly. Their interview prep stuff is next level.
No way, really.
Massive database of interview questions, and they're specific to different industries, different roles.
So it's not just generic advice.
Nope, it's tailored to what you'll actually encounter.
Smart. And they have that AI feedback tool, right? The one where you could practice your answers.
Exactly. It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket, giving you feedback in real time.
That is so cool.
Oh.
Okay, so we've gone from what's a kettle tender to RoleCatcher's got your back through the entire job hunt.
It's a holistic approach, and it's really impressive. They're not just about finding a job. They're about giving you the tools to find the right job and ace the whole process.
I love that. Okay, but let's zoom back out for a second.
Yeah.
We talked about how tech is changing things,
Yeah.
even in a field like, making gum.
Right, right.
What are some other ways you're seeing tech shake things up in the job world?
Well, one of the biggest trends, no surprise here, is automation.
Yeah, that's everywhere you look these days.
And it's not just robots on factory floors, it's AI, software automation.
Oh, wow. Even more high-tech.
It's being used for data analysis, customer service, even creative stuff like writing.
It's kind of mind-blowing, but also, wait, what about my job?
It's a valid concern. Lots of folks are wondering that these days.
Right.
But here's the thing. Historically, whenever there's been some big tech shift, it does mean some jobs change, maybe even go away.
Yeah.
But it also creates totally new jobs, new industries we couldn't have even imagined before.
Oh, that's true. Go back a few decades, no one's walking around saying, I'm going to be an app developer.
Exactly. Or social media manager, or all these other roles that exist now because of how tech evolved.
So it's not really about trying to, future-proof yourself by learning one specific skill.
Right.
It's more about being ready to adapt, to keep learning how to learn.
Exactly. That's what we were saying earlier about the job market always changing. What's hot today might be obsolete tomorrow.
Fast-paced world.
Yeah.
So being curious, being open to new things, that's even more valuable than, any one piece of knowledge.
Absolutely. And it's something RoleCatcher emphasizes throughout their platform. They're all about empowering you to own your career journey.
It's not just, here's a job board, good luck.
Yeah.
They're giving you the tools to navigate this crazy world of work.
Right. And to your point earlier, it's about realizing what you're capable of. Sometimes we limit ourselves by thinking, oh, I've only ever worked in this field.
When really, we've probably got skills that translate way beyond that.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher helps you see those connections, make those leaps.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. Started with kettle tenders, ended up talking about the whole future of work.
It's all connected, right?
It really is. If this is what we uncover from just one job title,
right.
Imagine all the other stuff that's out there just waiting for people to discover it.
And that's the beauty of it. There's so much opportunity if you're open to it.
For sure. So to everyone listening, if you take away just one thing from this deep dive,
what would it be?
Stay curious. Keep learning, keep exploring, and don't be afraid to, step outside your comfort zone a little bit.
I love that. You never know where it might lead.
Exactly. And on that note, until next time, happy career adventures, everyone.